Hi guys, so Sky News has this report on the eye-watering public debt the UK is facing at the moment, which is £2 trillion. So let's see what they have to say about a breakdown of the costs and how Rishi Sunak is going to deal with this problem. I'm going to come back after with some commentary of my own.
The national debt has reached an unwanted landmark, passing £2 trillion for the first time. Here we can see it climbing over the last couple of decades, rising following the financial crisis and passing £2 trillion in July, as government borrowing for the financial year to date rose to £150 billion. That's 3 times last year's total in just 4 months. Debt has soared as a percentage of GDP too, passing 100% last month. For the first time, the UK owes more than it earns in a year. We're borrowing more to cover the cost of COVID-19, including £35 billion on the furlough scheme, another £8.5 billion on support for the self-employed, and £180 million on Eat Out to help out. And the government is taking in less money too. All the main tax receipts are down as the economy has slowed, including VAT by more than 26%, though much of that has been deferred. It's not all bad news. Retail sales figures shown here rebounded last month to pre-lockdown levels, a classic V-shaped recovery driven by online sales and a small sign of returning economic life. But the big question is, how are we, and specifically he, going to pay for it? Barring a miraculous recovery, that boils down to a perennial choice: cut spending or raise taxes. Now, this is what the Chancellor thought the UK would spend this year, and on what? Welfare, health and education make up the biggest chunks of a £928 billion bill. But with borrowing at £150 billion and counting, that's already a sixth of the budget, not far off the entire cost of the NHS. And after a decade of austerity, there are no easy cuts, which leaves taxes. Now, few choose to raise them, but in international terms, the UK has a smaller tax burden than most of our European neighbours, 33.5%, more than the United States, but well below Germany and Scandinavian countries. So there's some headroom, and they may need it. It's not just COVID the government has to pay for. It's promised to level up the country, fund a social care system, and we haven't even mentioned Brexit. A good...
So, once again, Brexit, we haven't even got to Brexit yet. And Brexit is going to be extremely damaging to the economy. So what is Rishi Sunak going to do? So he could increase taxes, or he could cut spending, or he could do both of those things. He has to do at least one of them. And I would put money on him cutting spending. The Tories introduced the UK to damaging austerity. They didn't actually really pay a price for that. They got away with it. And they will do it again. They don't care about the people at the bottom. They have demonstrated that they don't care about the people at the bottom. The homeless, the disabled, the poor. Those people will be thrown under a bus to protect the elite, to protect the billionaire class. That's what's going to happen. The billionaires are not going to have to put their hand in their pocket and pay for this. The working class will have to take the hit once again. The same people who voted for Boris Johnson back in December 2019, they are going to see their public services slashed, cut to the bone in order to save money. And it's going to have a detrimental effect over the next number of years. It's not just going to be something that's going to be damaging for a year or two. It's going to go on for perhaps even a decade. And why will they not take money from the rich? Because those are the people who fund the Conservative Party. Those are the people who make sure that the Conservatives have cash and are doing their bidding. The Conservatives, once again, don't give a crap about ordinary people. So they're not going to look out for ordinary people. They're going to look out for the people who donate to the party. The people who are whining and dining Boris Johnson and the Conservative MPs. They're the ones that they're going to look out for. Not the working class, and certainly not the poor. I really hope that some deal surrounding Brexit can be worked out with the EU, because if it's not, and the UK leaves the transition period without a deal, then the public debt is going to increase. By how much, no one really knows, but it's going to be extremely damaging, once again, for the working class. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot. Why not become a Patreon and enjoy access to our Discord server, where we share news, chat, and have some fun. If you become a patron, you can also make video suggestions on topics that are important to you. Check it out via the link in the description.